I have never seen a moon so bright, so you should come and stay with me tonight, and I can show you how to feel alive.
Hello and welcome to Old Faithful Western South Dakota's premier one-eyed cowboy guitar show.
Love it.
My thanks to Haggerty's Music Works here on the hill in Rapid City. My thanks to the incomparable Johnny Hastings for making us look good here on camera. Please support my friends at Black Hills Blend Espresso. Please like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel, Matthew Trask, if you enjoy this show. And please like, share, and subscribe to the Haggerty's Music Works channel. They're doing fabulous stuff down here. I am so excited once again, and I'm going to take a second and pat myself on the back. And this show has been going every week since October of 2019, and the very first episode was a Martin guitar.
Oh.
Miss Lacey, now her name is Hotchkiss, and if you want to watch that episode, people, go right ahead. But the very first episode was a Martin guitar, and I think that somehow this is the second Martin guitar over a year and a half later.
Not enough Martins in the world.
There
What's
really
going
aren't,
on?
or here in Western South Dakota.
Yeah.
So this guy I met here in the amp room at Haggerty's,
Yep.
and I said, "Hey man, you should come on my show," and he said no, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But now
that's
you
true.
finally said yes.
Yeah, I finally said yes. I just kind of, I don't know. I didn't really have any new music out at the time, and I, kind of like I was telling you, I didn't really feel adequate enough.
Right?
Which, I mean,
you're about to see is ridiculous. But we haven't mentioned your name yet, Mr. Alexander Moen.
Yep. Or Alex, you can call me Alex. Alexander.
Alex, I was just going to ask that,
sure.
and did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yep. Mowing the lawn.
Mowing the lawn.
Mowing the lawn.
Okay. And the second Martin on the show, so this is going to be quite obviously a great show.
Hey.
If you've watched the show, you know that I say, tell us about you.
Yeah, and I do watch the show. I watch every single episode.
Oh, thank you.
Since the beginning.
Thank you
Huge
very
fan,
much.
for sure. So thanks for having me on here. Finally.
Absolutely.
This is awesome. It's an honor.
You
to be
had
here.
a standing invitation, buddy.
I guess so. I appreciate it. But yeah, I guess about me. So born and raised Rapid City, South Dakota. Grew up in Black Hawk, really, but went to Rapid City schools.
Sure.
And been in love with music my whole entire life. Been playing guitar since I was 8. I mean, if you could call it playing guitar. So, and other than that, I traveled a lot from ages 19 up until very recently when I was about 26. Just doing a lot of different stuff, hopping buses and couch surfing, just kind of doing like the crazy musician thing really, in Georgia, Florida, Texas, Colorado. And then decided to go to school, music school. I got a certificate of musicianship through the Atlanta Institute of Music. Graduated there in 2018. Studied theory and guitar performance. Moved back home because I missed hunting mule deer and antelope. So you can take the boy out of Dakota, but you can't take the Dakota out of the boy. So I had
That is true.
I had to come back and do that. So and I've just kind of been floating around doing that stuff ever since. I had another job where I was building trophy rooms for a while and got to pretty much go back to all the states that I've been to already. Like we did a lot of Florida and Colorado stuff.
Okay.
But I just again I just missed home.
Sure.
I always find myself kind of just draining back
Coming
here.
back.
Yeah, just something about the hills. And
we love it here.
we love it here.
We will go broke.
Yeah,
We will starve. We will be miserable.
Yep.
Here.
Yeah.
And just with a smile
And
on our
thrive.
face. And thrive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you brought up so many things we could talk about, but first, trophy rooms. Was this hunting trophies or like Grammys? Or?
No, yeah, hunting, like taxidermy,
Okay,
trophy
all right.
rooms, and like world-class stuff. If there's anybody who's like an outdoorsman or like a hunter out there, check out Prairie Mountain Wildlife Studios. Chris Kamak, he's from South Dakota. He runs that gig, and I'm talking world-class stuff. Like we did a 20,000 square foot trophy room for a dude. Most of the mounts are life-size mounts of big game critters. Really spectacular stuff, like all the artificial habitat. Basically, like when you walk into Cabela's, that big, thing in the lobby, that huge mountain, but like in people's houses.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And Chris Kamak, I know the Kamak.
You know the Kamak?
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, Ranch Life and stuff like
Because they're
that.
from Union Center.
Union
and I'm
Center?
from south of there.
Okay.
If anybody's keeping score, I'm from Elm Springs, South Dakota. It's a magical place.
I believe it.
So then, we got to talk about, tell us about you said, if you could call it that. Tell us about playing guitar at 8 years old, because I'm going to love this.
Okay, so yeah, my parents were totally reluctant on getting me a guitar at such a young age because like all I wanted to do was just, at that age, probably like every other boy really, just really, rambunctious and kind of reckless and stuff, and just super energetic and kind of a spaz. Still am. They, probably didn't think I would take care of my instrument, but they kind of realized that I probably would because I, on the way to t-ball practice or the way to school or no matter what, in the car, the volume had to be up enough to like hear it, and I had to give it my undivided attention no matter what. Couldn't pay attention to anything else if music was going on, and I'm still like that to this day. Like it was just like such a big deal. Like I loved it, and I just wanted to control it. I wanted my own instrument of somehow.
And suddenly this 8-year-old minion would sit stock still and listen.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah. It was really strange.
Yeah, for sure. And so my dad is like the Metallica fan. And anything like thrash metal, Slayer, Anthrax, Metallica, Megadeth, all those things, but mostly Metallica. And we had the VHS Cliff 'Em All.
Oh,
for sure. Yeah. And so there's this one scene where Kirk Hammett, it's like close up of him, and he's got this it's like a black and white total Strat looking body, but it's an ESP.
Right.
But he's just like shredding this thing, and I was just like, I have to do that. Like I have to play fast, shreddy music, and I need a guitar that looks like that. And so that's what I told my dad. I was like, Dad, I need this one. And so they found like it was a Silvertone brand by standard. Not terrible, but like pretty decent for like a starter pack. Black and white, so it looked like the one Kirk was playing.
Right.
And I got that Christmas Day when I was 8. I think that was like 2002.
Oh, wow.
No, it was 2001. Because that was 2001. So got that, and just everything changed. And so when I say like somewhat, if you could call it that,
right,
guitar, I didn't know that a guitar had to be tuned a certain way until I was 11.
Oh.
So I would just, because my parents aren't musicians,
right,
and I mean, bless their heart, they probably just like dealt with whatever was happening in my room. So I just like tuned, like and I thought that's how all guitar players were.
Right.
Like, you just tuned it to like what you thought it would be, like it should be. And so there were probably like some fifth harmonies and some major thirds all over the place.
Right.
Just I tuned it until it was, whatever, until the string would break, and I'd have to go to Haggerty's and be like, I need new strings, and then they would tune it for me, and I'd go home and be like, this isn't right. Listen, I don't know anything. And so I'd, tune it to what I thought was right, and then go back to like my world,
So, were you able to coax melodies out of this thing that you tuned yourself?
100%.
Do you remember any of these tunings that you used, and have you used them again?
It's been so long, and like once I finally realized how it's supposed to be set up, I would kind of I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna tell anybody that I would, do that. Like, I know how to tune a guitar. I know what power chords are. Yeah, easy. So I guess no, I don't remember what I was doing when I was like 8 to 11.
Right.
But I mean, definitely, I had a sense of rhythm and a sense of melody because of just such intense music listening.
Right.
From the id form of life up until 8 years old.
Sure.
Until and I was still developing musically. While playing guitar, obviously, just growing, and I stayed listening to music all the time and stuff like that.
So when you figured out that a guitar had a standard tuning, did you essentially have to relearn the guitar?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So at 11, I from 11 to 12, I ended up making a couple of friends that played guitar.
Okay.
And they knew because their dads played.
Sure.
Matt Holzer was one of them, if you're watching. Who else would be another one? I think our other friend Corey. So Matt taught me the power chord actually.
Oh.
And that changed everything.
Right.
I was like, holy cow. And so like everything was just power chord driven from then on. Every riff I wrote, whether it was like a single note riff, I was gonna throw a power chord in there somewhere. So that changed a lot, and so I always made sure my guitar was in tune. And then you discover drop D.
Right.
Look out.
Yeah,
holy
look
cow.
out.
Everything, now you're the heaviest guy in the world.
Oh, you bet.
And so then everything changed to just, that shape. But I was still feeling like I can't control it enough. My imagination isn't fully coming to life like I want it to. So I asked my parents if I could take lessons. Mm-hmm. So, and they were like, yeah, sure. Like, thank God. Let's get this boy some lessons. And so I got signed up in 2005 or whatever. I was in 6th grade, I think, at Haggerty's with Scott Miller. Hey. And, if it wasn't for Scott Miller, I probably wouldn't even be, I know I wouldn't be the player that I am today, but I probably wouldn't have he kind of like relit the spark, or at least like blew on the embers and made it a bigger flame that it was, because I learned the major scale, the minor pentatonic scale. Aside from that, we'd like kind of go over the theory stuff first half, but I just wanted to learn the Metallica riffs.
Sure.
And he was all about it. He's like, well, let's learn the scale real quick. Okay, cool, got that down. All right, wherever I may roam. So that stuff, and that's what I wanted. So yeah, I became like a riff writer. Super excited again about guitar because I knew kind of like what to do again.
Right.
Formed a band. Played a lot of shows in middle school and high school. Won Battle of the Bands in high school, and got to open up for I Declare War and The World We Knew, which are like really big death metal bands.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that's just kind of the early on stuff.
Sure.
Of learning and having to relearn and stuff like that.
Two things we haven't got to. Number one, you said you got this Silvertone on Christmas Day. So was it, please tell me, it was in a triangle-shaped box in a tree, and you were like, gee, I wonder what that is.
Triangle-shaped box,
for
I was as tall as I was.
For like 3 weeks.
Oh, no, that was a Santa present.
Oh.
So I woke up to this.
Woke up.
Yeah, to like the different wrapping paper than I was used to for the last Christmas week. And it was in like the silver wrapping paper with the big blue ribbon and a big blue bow. It was just like, it was
hell yeah.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And second, what was your first amplifier? Because you had
it came with the Silvertone amp.
Okay.
And then I upgraded to the Marshall MG15 DFX.
Hey!
Yeah,
Ooh.
big time. But huge difference playing on that Silvertone. I plugged in that Marshall and did a little bit of reverb, and some delay with the custom gain that it had. And I was just like, it just sounded so professional to me. And I still have it, and I'll still plug in and play to that thing.
Sure.
And I mean, after playing like Engels and PV6505s and messing around with pedals, and now I'm huge into amp sims and mods and stuff. I'll never really brag about this thing like at a show. I might. But I can, I look back and I'm like, I was so happy about this thing. Now I'm just like, well, it's kind of the practice amp.
But do you ever plug it in and your ear just like,
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
For sure. There are certain ideas that I have that only work with that tone.
Right.
Absolutely.
And your ear has become familiar with that. I absolutely adore things like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, let's see, what else? First, you told on yourself a story you said you were never going to, so I will return the favor for you.
Okay.
Because we're naked and afraid here on Old Faithful.
Yeah, I guess.
I cannot remember not wanting to play football, and so I played football in high school. Mm-hmm. And for all 4 years of high school, I played football. I was a junior in high school, so I had been trying for 3 years to play football before I realized one day on the sidelines the down system.
Okay.
I had no clue, and one day
first down, second down?
they flipped the number, and I was like, "Oh,
yes,
you get 4 tries." Yeah, 3 years it took me to figure that one out.
And that's
that's a comparable story to yours.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of just when certain things click, and okay,
right.
Yeah,
and it taking way too long.
Yes, taking way too long.
Yeah.
And I've learned that about myself so much in so many different avenues of life. I'm kind of just a late bloomer in general. I'm a late bloomer.
So I can't help but notice that this is not black and white, and it's not electric, and it's not an ESP.
Yes.
Tell us about your journey from Kirk Hammondism to this.
Yeah, so heavy metal to the sensitive singer-songwriter guy.
Right, sure.
My heavy metal band in high school broke up.
Oh,
drummer went to college. The singer started doing his thing. Bassist moved away. Or the bassist was the vocalist also. But the guitar player was just, we were all kind of doing our own thing.
Right.
And
it'll happen.
For sure. And so I was just kind of left on my own, still writing tons of metal in my bedroom with no drummer, and I didn't know how to make any drum beats at the time, like software. I didn't even have a computer. So I was just like writing metal riffs, and they just weren't really, I didn't feel fulfilled. The purpose just kind of dwindled for electric guitar, aggressive music, and so by some stroke of fate, my buddy who was doing dirt work for building railroad systems in Colorado was like, "Hey man, you just want to come and make a whole bunch of money and work 16-hour days and operate?" I'm like, yeah, I'm totally in a spot to do that right now.
Yeah.
So the next day, I drove down there and started working, blew my first check on a Martin 000.
Hey!
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Yeah, and just and all I knew was CFG, and I wrote a song called the Railroad Song. Actually, I haven't thought about that in a long time, but yeah. So I bought this Martin back in the hotel room, and just how did I even go? It's like, I'm so homesick, I just want to see my dog. At least I got friends here who know a little bit about love. They seem like so I just kind of turned into a songwriter,
Right.
like just in a flash. Like before I knew, I'm like, holy cow, like I guess I'm writing singy songs, and I really sucked at singing. Like, I mean, it was barely tolerable,
Right.
but I could kind of hang.
Sure.
So yeah, the singing part for me is really like the most applied musical aspect of like my entire musicality as a human.
Sure. So let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that you bought a Martin guitar and went to a hotel room and wrote a song called the Railroad Song,
The Railroad
in
Song.
the key of C, which seems so incredibly appropriate.
Yeah,
It
man.
had to be in the key of C.
Yeah, the key of C for Choo Choo.
Where did you buy this? Do you remember?
Guitar Center.
At Guitar Center in Denver?
In Denver.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And what made you decide to go
Martin?
to Martin?
I'm
Yeah.
a huge John Mayer fan.
Okay.
Shameless, no fear. I
Had
love
you gone
love John
in
Mayer.
looking for a Martin?
I went in looking for a Martin, and I
Okay.
knew I was going to buy a Martin.
All right.
Even if it was like a bottom shelf, because I know these things can run, 10 grand.
Sure.
Like, this is kind of middle of the road Martin, you know?
Right.
And there was a Father's Day sale. It was kind of right in that era, like, or that time of, it was like July or something.
Right.
And so this thing was on sale for $1,800.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. And so I was just like, and like I said, we were working like crazy, making some big boy checks
Right.
for the first time in my life, and I was just so loosey-goosey with my money, still kind of am. I was
Right.
like, bam, that Martin's going home with me today, right now.
Right.
And so I finally got a Martin, and this Spanish cedar, oh man,
It's
to
a
this
cedar
day.
top?
I don't know, but I think so, maybe. I know this is rosewood, isn't it?
That looks
Smell
like
that and
rosewood.
tell me that's
it
not-
should be
smell that.
a spruce top, though.
You gotta smell the hole, dude. Can we cut that out?
The whole thing smells incredible.
Right?
Yeah,
It's just,
it does.
any Martin. You
Now
pick
we're
up-
smelling guitars.
now
I
we're smelling
love
guitar.
my show,
You
guys.
pick up any Martin in the
Right.
world, and it smells like a Martin.
Right.
I can walk in a store. They sell Martins here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
That's an incredible
yeah.
nose,
How'd you get
actually.
that Martin? I followed my nose. Like, it's a thing. It's not even me.
One more thing. You said you knew C, F, and G. Mm-hmm. Was that all the chords you knew?
That I really cared to remember, and I don't know why, but from lessons with Scott Miller.
Okay.
I learned, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right.
But I'd never really stuck with them because you're not going to do first position cowboy chords when you're writing heavy metal, doing riffs.
So that's what you mean.
Yeah,
you
and
mean
it was
that
just-
was
I mean-
the open chords that came to mind.
Exactly. that came
Okay,
to mind.
gotcha.
Get an acoustic
All right.
guitar. First thing I'm going to play at that time is probably going to be something like.
Right.
Just because it is what it is.
So you knew more chords, just they were farther up the neck.
Yeah, for sure. Like some extension stuff.
Perfect. All right. So then you were working dirt
Mm-hmm.
and living on the road, but
Yeah.
you must have taken pretty good care of this.
Yeah, for sure. I did. Actually, for the first while, it was my absolute baby. Still is. Her name is Meg, by the way. Meg the Martin.
Meg the Martin.
Yeah, so she's my baby. And another reason why I brought her here is because this is my Old Faithful.
Sure. Yeah.
And a quick little side story, this guitar has been stolen from me in 2 different big cities, and I got it back both times. So that's why it's kind of just like my Old Faithful. I'm like
Wow.
somehow, some way cosmically connected to be the owner of this guitar.
My goodness.
It's crazy.
Thanks for finally coming on the show, dude.
I guess.
Yeah. Twice. And it
Twice.
was returned.
Yeah, so once in St. Simons, Georgia, when I first moved to Georgia.
Okay.
I was living in kind of like a crummy part, the part that I could afford
Sure.
of town, and I just made the mistake of, my truck was locked. I always made sure to, I still obsessively lock my vehicles, but it was, she was in the case and everything, but just in the extended cab of my Ford, which is
sure.
parked directly under my apartment. It's like
Right.
a loft-style apartment. And I've done it before, and it's just right there, and we're all kind of tight in the few
Right.
apartments there. But I woke up one morning, and I just had a weird feeling. Immediately, I was like, I'm going to go check see if my guitar is safe. So, I just went down, and immediately I was just...
I can't smell a Martin.
Exactly, right? well, what's happening? So, and I was just deflated immediately. My soul was crushed because I saw where the keyhole in my truck was messed up and jammed.
Oh.
And so I go in there and my Martin's gone, and I'm just like destroyed, and I'm thinking 1,000 miles an hour. But it's really sucked because the next day I had a plane to catch to go home for Christmas for 10 days in South Dakota.
Okay, yeah.
So I can't spend the rest of my time, hunting down the bastard that stole my guitar.
Right, yeah.
And so
I'm getting worked up just talking about it.
Yeah, am I still red?
I love
I'm
that,
a little bit windburned from work today, but I bet I'm really red right now. But I went and knocked on a door of a gut feeling that I had. Some kind of shady dudes who I've had at my apartment because we barbecue and stuff. All sorts of people walk around. Hey, come over. Some dudes, and I was playing my guitar, and one of them kind of played guitar, and they were alcoholics, and one of them was fresh out of prison, and so I just got a gut feeling. I'm like, I'm gonna go just feel their vibe. So I went and knocked on their door, and they answered, and one of them saw it was me, so he immediately shut the door right behind him and was kind of leaning up against his door. And so, what's going on? I'm like, my guitar was stolen. Did you see anybody or anything carrying my case around last night or early this morning? No, man. Okay. I was like, okay, well, that's kind of my livelihood right now, so... if you find anything, let me know so I can kill the guy. Basically. And so he was just like, yeah, man, for sure. So I walked away and I was just like, I just didn't feel good. So then I'm in South Dakota and I'm telling my friends about it and stuff. And they're like, dude, that guy, he's the one with your guitar. And I'm like, you're damn right he is. And so I go back to Georgia and I take a shot of some liquid courage. I'm just pacing in my apartment, like, I'm gonna go knock on that guy's door, I'm gonna grab him by his collar, and I'm just gonna say, it was you, man. So I pound on his door and he opens. And right away, hey, come on in. He invites me in. Okay. So I sit down and he have a beer. He gives me a beer. All right, he's like, stay right here. I'll be right back. So he goes and he's like digging around in his closet, and he comes back with my guitar.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, here you go. I stole your guitar. I'm really sorry. When you came over and we talked, I felt really bad. And he even pulled a drawer. He had a note pretending to be his girlfriend saying, I thought my boyfriend was better than this. He was going to return it to my front door and tape that note on my case. And I'm just like, well, aside from all that, cool. Thank that.
And a free beer.
And a free beer.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He was a gentleman.
He was a gentleman about it. He came to his senses, so that's good. I don't hate the guy.
Right.
I'm so glad that he did that,
Sure.
Good always triumphs over evil.
And he provided me with an excellent story.
For sure.
Show.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So, round 2 of Martin theft. So I was building trophy rooms.
Okay.
And we got a little bit of vacation in South Dakota before the next trophy room, which was in Florida. So we're on our way to Florida and made a quick stop in St. Louis, Missouri, right on the outskirts of, at 3 in the morning to get a wink of sleep. So we get a motel, and to this day, I think we made the mistake of me and my buddy telling the front desk lady, and who knows if she was in on it, but she was asking a lot of questions, and we were just kind of delirious, but super stoked because we're going to build trophy rooms. Yeah, we're from South Dakota, we're out of town, we're just passing by, blah blah blah. We have a bunch of cool stuff in our vehicles, basically.
And South Dakotans.
Yeah,
we do that.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
We're just such
Midwestern.
we're just such loving, trusting people. And so, like I said, a week of sleep, maybe 3 hours. We get up and I'm brushing my teeth, and homie comes back and he's just like, everything's gone, guitar's gone, rifles are gone, bows are gone, your computer's gone. And I'm just brushing my teeth, and I'm just foam dripping, you're kidding me, man. So I run out there, glass is shattered, his tonneau cover on his pickup is slashed open, tools are gone, chainsaws, air blowers.
Oh, wow.
Milwaukee tools are gone, Martin is gone again. Because, I made the mistake of, when you're driving 15 hours, your hips, your back, you just want to just bring your toiletries and sleep and get your ass back in. And my Martin was under a lot of other big luggage. So, they really got us, and it just sucked. And so, filed a police report. I had the serial number from this guitar and everything, so if it got pawned, it would show up. 3 months went by, and we're building a trophy from Florida. I get a call from Illinois. Hello, hi, this is Detective so-and-so. Your guitar showed up in a pawn shop. We have it. I just dropped to my knees and was thank you, God. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But I was thank you, God. And so we finished the job up like in the next month because I did feel like driving all the way to Illinois because I was borrowing a vehicle at that time, and I was like, hey, just Copper, hold on to it. I love you, thank you. I will be there in a month. And so, on the way home from Florida, we made a quick little stop in Illinois, got my Martin back.
Wow.
Back to South Dakota.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I think we're running fairly. This has been an incredible show. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
We have to talk. I insisted he put his case in the shot.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get a picture of it if it's not in the shot.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, because you have to.
Yeah, I'll just set this down real quick.
All right.
So, just like you were saying, us musicians, we do kind of stupid stuff when we're partying. And so I was coming up to a jam. So this is it. Lovely battle scar here. So, I set it down and I open it up and I fold it open right against a baseboard heater without thinking. We're jamming all of a sudden.
Right.
Anybody smell melting plastic? What the hell? Oh, God! So that's my life in a nutshell. That's my life in a guitar case.
Do you have a travel guitar now?
A garage guitar, I call it. Yeah, I
One
do.
that you would take to Florida, for example.
No, not really. I have some beaters, but they just don't play like I want them to. And I just can't really deal with that.
You're going to insist on bringing, but I bet we're more careful now.
Oh yeah, I would never leave my instruments in my vehicles ever again. It only took twice.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't leave my stuff in my car anymore.
And really quickly, part of the reason you finally agreed to come on the show is because you have an album of sorts coming out.
Well,
correct?
Well, I definitely have a single coming out, and I'm writing like 3 other metal songs right now, and I'm going to release this one. It's in the mastering stage right now, so it's pretty much kind of, as soon as it's done, it's pretty much up to me. I was going to give it some hype online for maybe a week or 2, and send it, so probably in May. I'm thinking in May.
In May, you're going to release a metal song.
Yep, 8-string heavy metal, drop E. So there's 3 E's on the guitar.
Wow.
Just super awesome.
That's a lot of E's.
And I use all the open E all the way up to the 24th fret on the high E in the solo. So I'm using the entire range of the 8-string. Something I've always wanted to do. And this is the first song I've ever written on an 8-string. And it's instrumental. And it's going to be an instrumental record. If I keep cranking out these aggressive tunes.
All right.
But yeah, so I kind of just took a break from writing, singy songs. I have written some as of late, but they're way too sad to be playing right now.
There's no such thing.
Oh, I don't know. If I were to play one right now, you'd probably be like, at the end, Alex, are you okay? Like, here's the suicide hotline. Like, I don't know. I'm kidding. But no, they're just they're kind of like me songs.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but the ones that I want to share with people recently are the heavy metal songs I've been writing.
Okay. And they will be available on most
all platforms.
All platforms.
I go through DistroKid. So.
Where do we find you? Where's the quickest, easiest way to find you on the interwebs?
Facebook.
Facebook.
I post way too much on Facebook.
Okay.
Instagram. Those are my 2 mains.
All right.
So yeah, Facebook, I'm Alexander Moen. And I don't know why, years ago I just decided to be Alexander on the internet.
Sure.
I don't know why. Everybody calls me Alex. But yeah, so I'm Alexander Moen on Facebook, and I'm Alex Strums Strings on Instagram.
Okay.
And Strums Strings ends in a Z. Had to be edgy about it. Had to be criminal about it.
Sure.
So yeah. So those are my 2 mains: Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Yep. And you're not, if I understand correctly, you don't have a summer of shows booked this year.
I got nothing booked. I have. Kind of just some things to take care of. I don't really want to talk about right now because it's not a sure thing.
Right.
But so I've been kind of holding back on booking things, and even if it doesn't happen, then I'm too late to the party. I might find some gigs that are open, and I'm okay with that. I haven't been playing out in like over a year, and it's just a certain phase that I'm in life right now, and I'm fine with it. I'm okay. Right. I don't lose sleep over it. But I love playing, and I'm always thinking about it, and I still want to do it, and I'll get around to it.
Well, cool. And if you follow him on the various social media platforms, then you will be aware when he returns.
Oh yeah, I'll spam everybody.
We are looking forward to it.
Cool.
Are you going to give us? You're not going to give us a 3-octave.
No.
8-string.
I'm not going to do any shredding. No.
Here on Meg the Martin.
No. So I was really honored to also be invited to do a Cave Collective local acoustic compilation, and so I recorded a couple days ago with those guys, and so I was sitting there like, oh man, I'm not gonna do one of my extremely sad songs that I just wrote, but I still want to deliver something with people like voice and stuff, and so I went back to a song I wrote in 2016 called My Only Love.
Perfect.
And it's I was really into Buddy Holly at the time and the Bee Gees, so I was kind of thinking, what would Buddy Holly and Barry Gibb say when I was writing it, and like what kind of chords would they use?
That is a songwriter thought right there.
Yeah, and I love those guys, and so I chose that song to do for the Cave folks, and I'm gonna play that song tonight.
Okay, right after I mentioned, please thank my. I just completely lost my mind, Alexander Moen. Remember my sponsorship with Trash Can LLC. That's what I was going to say. Large, round, and square bales and custom haying services. We're getting some rain this spring. You might need somebody to put up your hay. 515-0858. And today, I don't believe he's ever said it on the show. John Mayer says, change your strings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely change your strings.
Change your strings.
I should have changed these strings.
And tune your strings.
Definitely.
Yeah. Unless you're 8. Then go with whatever feels good.
We'll allow it.
Yeah. All right. So this song is called
My Only Love.
Love.
Yeah.
Hey, I host a show. All right.
We love
Give her
it.
hell, Alex.
Thanks, man.
I have never seen a moon so bright, so you should come and stay with me tonight, and I can show you how to feel alive. So come along and know my name. Call you up, nothing special, just to see what's up. What are the chances I'll run out on luck? Shot in the dark and just a glimpse of love. Don't leave me hanging high and dry. Oh, I got nothing to lose but my only love. And you're the only one that I choose out of all the above. And every day you got my praises loud and clear. So glad I got you near. You alone, you are the source of all affection shown. Can't bear another second on my own. Can't wait to stumble into the unknown with you always right by my side. I've never seen a moon so bright, so you should come and stay with me tonight, and I can show you how to feel alive. So come along and know my name. choose out of all the above, and now got nothing to prove to my only love. And now I got nothing to lose but my only love, which of course is you.
Yeah! The Buddy Gibb hit the number one.
The Buddy Gibb, the Barry Holly.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next week.
Thank you, Matt.
You bet.